What's up, family? How you all doing? Welcome to another episode of The Beacon, sponsored by LightHouse Young Adult Ministry. This episode is an exciting episode. This is a series, a digital conversation series that revolves around young adults who serve as a beacon in a specific profession and or on a given topic that they can shed a light on, hence the term beacon. I'm excited for this episode that we have. I have a good friend of mine. She is an educator. She is a sister. She is a daughter. She is a servant leader. She is crazy. She she is a friend of mine since high school. So I'm excited to have a friend of mine discussing this topic of and the importance of serving others because she serves the community so much, whether it's in the education sector or in the civic sector, serving communities, doing her community service. So I'm excited. So please welcome our guest, Llyoandra, I call her low-key, Cooper, to the digital conversation series. Welcome her to the Beacon. So Miss Low, how are you doing, my sister with the God is Bigger sweatshirt on?
Yes, God is Bigger brand. Shout out, Kiara Jones. I'll, give you all some info about that later. But I am good. Today is a beautiful, windy Sunday here in Evanston. But I'm doing good. I'm feeling good, looking good. But I'm doing good. My heart is full right now. So I'm so grateful that you asked me to do this, and I'm excited. Let's chat. Let's talk about it.
That's good. That's good. Well, I'm happy to have you. And we just gonna flow. We just gonna talk. This is a very laid back series where we just have conversation, dialogue on a topic. It's not all rigidly structured, but we just talking. We just having friends. I've invited friends of mine that I know can talk on a given topic and give insightful information to be able to help our viewers on different stuff. So we're gonna chop it up. So I want you to talk about yourself a little bit. Where are you from? Do you have a place of worship? How you affiliated with LightHouse? All that. Just of who you are.
Okay. So again, Llyoandra Cooper. Friends call me Lo. My kids call me Coop. I am raised in Evanston. I was born in Texas, so I'm a transplant. Grew up right down the street on Dewey in the 5th Ward. So I currently do worship at Bethel AME Church on Darrow, again, right down the street. I'm very familiar with this area. Family church. So love Bethel. Shout out to all the Bethelites. And I, you know, okay? You're a hater. And how am I affiliated with LightHouse? So actually, the connection that Alex and I made, again, I'm very supportive of everything Alex does in terms of just ministry of young adults here in the city. And just, so he told me about LightHouse a couple years ago now, and invited me to some of the Bible studies and met some really nice individuals there. So still very connected, although I am still, I have to do a few things when we meet, but I do still appreciate everything that's being done with LightHouse. So Alex, you brought me to LightHouse, and I appreciate you, and I thank you for still being just involved with it. We have a gap ministry at Bethel, and we kind of combined and joined forces a few times. So it's just been pretty dope. Our that gap, that 20-something, 30-something age range, we know as in a church, has kind of diminished a little bit. So having an outlet like LightHouse has been really, really helpful. So
that's awesome.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
Of course. I'm happy you could come through. And for your kind words. We're gonna see if they're so kind after this session. But so we're gonna dive right in. How does Lo Cooper serve other people in her everyday life?
Yeah, so various ways, right? As you spoke, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a cousin, I'm all that and more, God, mommy. So I serve people just by helping people realize, giving people the tools to realize and reach their full potential. So whether that is, again, as an educator, dealing with my students as they're looking to broaden their horizons on their educational endeavors and college and career, I help them by doing that. But most importantly, my service right now, my ministry, is the Giving Storeroom, which is housed here. It is a food pantry in the Valerie D. Summers family closet. So that is my claim to fame, if you will, in terms of service to the community. And service is something very near and dear to my heart. Started when I was young in the church with my family, whether that was helping feed those at the soup kitchens, or just collecting canned goods. As a Girl Scout, I knew what service was. So I've been a servant for all of my life, and I find joy in it. It's a very humbling experience, and what I do is I do to give back to the community that raised me, that taught me how to be a young, intelligent woman. And that's just the Evanston community, again, my family. So I'm just thankful to be in a position where I can do this.
Awesome. Absolutely. And for those who don't know, the Giving Storeroom is the food pantry and clothing closet located at our Family Focus in Evanston at 2010 Dewey. We've always had a food pantry and a clothing closet, but the actual Giving Storeroom concept was a new concept that was kind of built to brand both identities together. And we had it taken over, even though it's run by Family Focus. Miss Lowe, she was, we were blessed to have her take on as like the manager of the space. So even though we may own it, she is the manager. We got to run everything through her. Nothing happens without Lowe.
No, that's real.
So we are blessed to have her and be able to have her be of service. So we're thankful for you and your heart and your gifts and your patience. That most definitely. So another question is, why do you believe it is important to serve others?
I mean, I'm gonna just take it to the word and what I know, because that's what we're supposed to do. As
Right.
followers of Christ, as Christians, we are, positioned to serve, because that's what Christ did. He served others. It wasn't about, who he was or him being this or that. His objective was to serve. So, I mean, in more ways than one, I see that as a direct connection to my Father, right? To serving and giving those who are in need, whether that is food, clothing, a good word, inspiration, motivation, whatever. Being able to provide that for them in a service which is consistent, which is patient, which is loving, most importantly. So that's why it's important to serve. That's what we're supposed to do. So that's why I do it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And that's definitely a mindset that people need to have, just in general. Not from any other, if nothing else, if you believe that you are a follower of Christ and you read the word and you believe what the word says, then that's something that you need to hide inside your heart to be of service.
Absolutely.
We're blessed so much in so many different ways, whether it's clothes on our back, whether it's our life, whether it's our ability to have two legs, our ability to talk, our ability to even get an education. We're blessed. And that concept of being blessed is not blessed so we can hoard those blessings or keep them, but so we can be able to have an outlet, so we can extend the olive branch and we can give to other people. And we're blessed to be a blessing. So that's an idea that more people need to have in their psyche and their mind. So
absolutely. We're on the same page.
For now. No.
Here we go.
So growing up in the church, we're taught that being of service is biblical, like you just said, right? And that ultimately is example of Christ here on earth and the way that he's taught us in his word to live our lives. In what ways was the value of service instilled in you at an early age or as an adult?
So I think the most clear or the clearest and most, I guess, important aspect of the service to me really came at church as an usher, right? And being a doorkeeper, yes, a doorkeeper. Hello. I still have my gloves and still have my badge.
So come on, badge. Come on with the
yes,
with the
please
three
follow
fingers.
the next usher. Yes, please follow
The
the
four
next
fingers.
usher. Hello.
You want a fan? It's
Come
four.
on. Come on.
You want an envelope? It's two.
Don't get me started. Do not get me started. And so it was as a child, I was 7 years old when I joined the usher board under the direction of Mr. Glenn Hill. God rest his soul. I love that man, Mr. Hill, Miss Naomi McCrae, and all those other ushers who impacted me, Miss Flora Carter, Miss Bertha Jones, like all those people who impacted me. And they showed me that it wasn't just about keeping the door or passing out bulletins or, offering, taking. It was about being of service and a servant, primarily to the Lord and to those in need. So as the usher, you're on the door, you holding the post, you there, like you're watching the floor, you're knowing what's going on. And it was at that time as a child, I loved ushering. I loved just being able to help and to serve, and that kind of extended always being available to, serve in any capacity, from being a young person and doing everything in the church, YPD, choir, hospitality, all that. It just gave me that
everything.
It gave me that desire to really just know and impart that wisdom of just being accessible and available to serve for the glory of God. I wasn't getting anything for that. And even now, as I, translate that into what I do in the Giving Storeroom, I am not compensated at all. This is volunteering. This is my service. This is what I want to do. I get personal joy in doing this. So I think that's the beauty about service. You don't do it, looking or expecting a reward in return. You do it because it's the right thing to do, and more often it needs to be done. So if you don't have a heart to serve, and everybody doesn't have that, just like everybody is not an educator, everybody can't deal with young people, everybody can't deal with people, everybody can't do customer service. That's another aspect of it that I love. I'm very fond in good customer service, and not to brag, but it's just to say, to help people, right? To give good information, to give proper information, to be knowledgeable. And that's what's important to me. Like, I always have to be knowledgeable about things. And so in doing that, and understanding how to do that in good stewardship, whether that's in church, whether that's at my job in customer service, or whether that's just dealing with people, you have to have a heart to serve, and understanding that it's the good in you. And there's that light, right? That beacon of light that shines through you, which is the Lord. So.
Absolutely. That's key. To be able to, it to be genuine, and then not to be forced. But for you to genuinely see that somebody's in need, you have a resource, so why not share that resource? Because they, like they say, you can't take it with you. So so you might as well share it with your community who need it. Because you can't hoard it all. Because you can only have so much. So one thing is, I know you are busy. You got like 85 jobs. You got like 1,000 kids that you call yours, but they really aren't yours. They
thank you for making that very clear. Very clear.
I had to let the people know, because they don't know. They could think that you're just out here. So,
no, no, sir, not out.
Funny. So how do you navigate having a passion for the work you do, and being obligated to do it.
That's good. Ooh, okay, here we go. Passion is really, I think, the perfect just understanding of knowing what you do is not, it's like understanding the difference between like your job and a passion, right? Job, you get compensated and you may like it. Passion, you're doing the work regardless of what's happening. So navigating through obligation and desire to help, it really becomes a fine line because also of how you come about these opportunities, right? So full transparency, when I was asked to do the Giving Storeroom, it was simply like, I want to help and serve in the community however I can. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I also knew, stop it. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I knew that it was to help better our community, a place that, again, raised us, that we have grown to love and we support. And, even in what we do daily, we give back. So I had to develop the passion for not just helping people, because I already had that passion, but for serving populations that I had never served before, those who are less fortunate, those who, may not have the resources or just the wherewithal to, interact properly with people. So it was a very humbling experience because it's like, when you know better, you do better. And that's not to say that people who don't have, or with the lack of experience in, whatever, aren't good people. It's just that it teaches you that you can have all the credentials and the education in the world at the same time. That doesn't mean that makes you better than anybody, right?
Absolutely.
And respect is something that I really, really have honed in on so much more in this position, in leading as at the Giving Storeroom, right? And it's part of that navigation, right? It's part of that navigation and the obligation of like, do I have to do this? Getting up on Saturday mornings after working a full week, right? Additionally, serving people who may not say thank you or say please or have manners. Right. Like, it's like, has it ever deterred me from wanting to do this? And there have been times where I've had to like,
hold it.
remember that this is bigger than me, right? I have to remember that it's bigger than me. But at the same token, like I said, respect is something that should never be anything up for discussion. You respect me, I respect you as a human, right? We're human. We're both living, breathing people. But it's been something to navigate through, just with all the things that I have to do in my life. Like at one point in time, I had 2 jobs, was working on my master's and had all this other stuff going on. And it was hard, and something I struggle with is saying no. And so I had to learn the balance. I had to learn that, you said that this is a service, and even more so with different things that have gone on in my life, I look at the Giving Storeroom as a ministry, for me. That's my connection with deepening my connection with the Lord. Like, I've whole nother episode about stories in church. We can go there, but
hey, coming soon. Don't trip. 2021 coming soon.
The thing about it is, he put on my heart, and knowing he created me, so he knows my heart, right? So it being put on my heart to serve the community, and I said, I want to get back involved in the community. Working at the high school is just not enough for me. Singing at church and ushering at the church is just not enough for me. I need to get reacclimated to my community. And so being put in a position where I had to do it, it began to, I had to remove that obligation and make it work for me where my passion shone through. So it's a work in progress. Again, there are times where I'm just like, Alexx, y'all gonna have to figure this out. But I love what I love what I do. And I love being able to be in a position to do this work. Because it's not for the faint of heart,
Not
honestly.
at all.
It's really not.
Not at all. And I think that's key, because you're human. So you go through experiences where you don't want to get up on Saturday morning. Because like you said, you worked the full week. So getting up at 7 to be here by 8 or 9, yeah, that ain't that thing. That ain't the ideal situation. And it's COVID out here. So yeah.
Yeah,
um,
I mean, that's a whole different ball game now, right? With dealing with COVID and how we have to navigate with people. It again, not easy. So you got to be able to roll with the punches and make the changes when necessary.
Yeah, but and the idea, I just think you said something that was really key about how you realized that, even though you had a passion for something or a heart for something, you understood that at times you wasn't going to want to do it, but you understood that it was bigger than you. It wasn't just about low. It wasn't just about you or how you feel. Um, but it's somebody out there, in the community that might need a coat because it's wintertime and they don't have a coat for them and or their kids, or they just lost their job and they need food for the weekend, or the holidays are coming up and they want to be able to cook their family dinner. So, but they don't have a turkey or they don't have any sides. So they come here to the Giving Storeroom and they get a bag full of breadcrumbs or stuffing or cranberry sauce or soup, so they could be able to make some type of meal, so they can bless their family. So just thinking about families like that who need those resources, and that we're privileged to have, is key in keeping us pushing to go forward. So,
Absolutely.
um, so something that me and you was talking off camera about was the idea of uh, people not wanting to. So me and you, we talked about a lot of people coming to us and saying, "I don't want to take those resources from people who need them." So when we say that we have a food pantry or clothing closet with coats and with food, um, people who we know personally who might be, temporarily struggling or be struggling for a long time, um, they say that they don't want to take those resources from the community and people who need the stuff. Um, can you help me dismantle kind of that uh, that idea that you have to be homeless or you have to be, um, without clothes or without a job to be able to, um, get resources? That idea that a food pantry or clothing closet is only affiliated with the homeless people, and only those people can get those resources.
No, yeah, I think that's the biggest misconception and just myth about everything. I mean, we have been conditioned by society to think just because we have a 9 to 5, a source of employment, that because we have degrees, multiple degrees, that we are just better off and we're great and we not
Yeah,
struggle. We don't struggle. We don't have to decide what bill is getting paid today or this week. We don't have to decide, am I going to eat tonight, or my kids going to eat tonight? And I think that's just we think, because again, like I said, that we're gainfully employed, that people don't struggle.
right.
There are a lot of people who are gainfully employed who have had, you know, the extent of education, who I've met
Right,
in my pantry. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right,
and I think we
right.
have to dismantle that whole identity of just being okay because we're working, right?
Yeah,
Like, I mean, it's different to think, salary caps and like, well, I have a job that pays me 40 grand. Okay. And we also live in one of the most expensive, places in the nation, whether it's the city of Evanston,
absolutely.
where's the city of Chicago. Like, you're looking at 1 bedroom apartments that are, studio apartments. We're not even going to ask about 1 bedrooms. We'll say studio apartments that are 900, eleven
Not
hundred dollars, right? So
period.
I gotta pay for my apartment. I gotta have a car note. I gotta
Yeah,
pay for my amenities in my apartment. And I'm only making, and it's just me, and I'm
right.
barely making it. So we have to stop thinking and stop being so more so. We got to stop being so proud that we, you know, are just fine because we have jobs. Now, there's a big difference between people who have it and don't know how to be resourceful with the resources they've been provided, right? You know, financially responsible. But there's something to say about that single mother who has to work 2 jobs, who barely is making it because she's raising her kids, right? So I think we have to just understand that, one, everybody's story is different, and two, the more time we spend worrying about ourselves and what we need and understanding what we need, the better we will be. So I had a conversation with a couple of people who I've worked with before, and they're just like, well, you know, can I come see what you have? Yeah, what you need? Like, it's not like, I'm a loud person, so it's not like I'm trying to be like extra. It's just like, people struggle. Again, I mean, we can go outside and look at, again, the city that raised us, that we live in, and see the two different realities, right? Family Focus is situated in the 5th Ward, historically the Black, brown, low income section of the city. So it's not to say that just because I have a nice house over here, I have a big house, or again, I got a car, this and other thing, that I'm not struggling. Now, what we have to understand is some people's struggles looks different. And, you know, me having to get a coat or me having to grab a bag of food doesn't mean that I'm any less, you know, able to do or provide. We all have rough patches, right? Like, again, I've had somebody who's come through my pantry at a time, and he's, you know, this person said that they're a PhD, they have a PhD, and they lost their job. We got to think about the economy, right? We got to think about let's talk reality right now. COVID. How many people haven't been working because of that? So it's nothing to be ashamed of. The shame comes when you don't take advantage of it, and then you're sitting wondering, what am I supposed to do? We're so reactive as a people, and that's just humanity. I'm not talking black, white, red, I'm talking to everybody. We are so reactive until we become proactive and think, you know, okay, I'm not in the best space right now. What are the resources I have? And there are tons of resources here in this community. It's a blessing that we have resources. So if you need the resources, hold your head up high and go get those resources, because that's what they're here for, you know. And it's not, you know, we've had dreams and aspirations to make this more than just about food and clothes. We've wanted to provide resources and structure of, you know, resume building, workshops on jobs, workshops on, you know, just any and everything, going back to school, whatever. Like, those are aspirations that the Giving Storeroom actually wants to provide for people, resources. And again, until we just get get in our own way. Like, you know, we have been fortunate enough to be provided fresh produce, and, you know, when I publicize this, I ask people, if you need it, let me know. You know what I'm saying? Like, two people in the household, 2-income household, one person household, grandmother taking care of the kids. Like, it doesn't matter. If you need it, it's here, but don't abuse it. That's the other piece. Like, don't abuse it. Like, if you, you know, you because in a sense, it is, sometimes you are taking from those who need it. But if you are in need, understand that I feel that, and we've all needed help at one point or another. So it's here for you. So we got to get out of our own way with that.
Absolutely, Master. And taking advantage of it is something that, and so I respect people saying that they don't want to take resources away from people who need it. But if you are in a position, you are one of those people that needs it, and you being able to identify that and accept that, and then know how to reach out for help. Because, like, we're not in this life to do life alone. People without community are some of the most depressed, disheartened people in our nation. People who are isolated by themselves. We thrive and live off of community. Being able to help each other and support one another and love on one another and pray for one another and give each other resources. So we all, like you said, we're all in different, have different life experiences, different life cycles, different communities, different sections of the world in which we inhabit. So being able to tap into those resources and ask low for help, or hit me up and call me like, um, I'm kind of short on my money this month. Do you think I could come get a bag of food? Or you think I can come get a coat? It's getting a little cold and my coat got a hole in it, but I don't have money to go get a coat. Can you help me out? Say less. Give me a time. We can come get this young coat, big dog. What's your size?
Hello.
Which one you
Exactly. Exactly. And what people don't know is, you tell me you need something, I'm gonna make sure you got it and then some. So coat, oh, you getting hats, scarves, gloves, moccasins, like whatever we can get you,
Exactly.
we're going to help you. But I'm not a mind reader. We don't know until you say
Right.
something. And it
Right.
is that confidence, right? You can trust. It is about building that trust with people. But I want us to know, that it's okay to ask for help. So
Right. And even if we, like, individually, like, for example, we talk about Giving Storeroom a lot. If we can't give the resource to give to you, I bet we can point you in the direction of where you can go get it as well.
exactly.
So
Absolutely.
we don't have all the answers. We don't have everything. We don't have everything you may need in that moment or season of your life. But I guarantee you that we know somebody who does, or someone who can point you in the direction who does. So you still reaching out and asking for help, it still could benefit you in a long way. And that's something I had to learn myself, because I don't like asking for help. I like doing stuff myself. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm okay.
Yeah, me both.
You know, I appreciate you, but I got it. I'm cool though. So I had to learn how to.
Yeah, so that's funny because actually that's this for me. I've had to learn how to ask for help for this Giving Storeroom, because I can't do it all by myself. I think I can, like the little engine I could, but I'd be like,
Tucker.
hello, like, hey, I need this, or hey, can you come help, or hey, can you meet me there? Can you do this? And I realized that while people can say no, you also don't know who can say yes. But if you just try to figure it out all alone, then you're gonna be spinning your wheels for a long time. So
absolutely. And then you'll get drained, and you'll get discouraged, and you'll get overwhelmed, and then the passion will be gone because you're so busy trying to do the work that the passion for the work disappears.
Yeah, that's facts.
So, so are there ways that we wrongly make serving others about ourselves, in your opinion?
Are there ways that we have taken what? Sorry, go ahead one more time.
I said, are there ways in which we wrongly make serving other people about ourselves?
Absolutely. When you're looking for something in return, when it's conditional. Like, so here's the example. Love, unconditional love, loving someone regardless or whatever. The moment it becomes conditional, conditions to it, like, I only love you if you buy me this new car. I only love you if you do this. That's the disconnect. Same with service. If I'm only serving you in regards that I'm going to get something in return, I'm doing it for the wrong reasons.
For the wrong reasons.
So yeah, we have to be very careful about that, because again, it's kind of like that dangling something over somebody. Well, I did this for you.
Yeah.
If that's why you're doing it, you don't need to do it. So that means that can happen. So you got to be careful.
It's not genuine. So you're trying to. It's a ulterior motive, a hidden agenda. You want to be noticed, or you want the
recognition, the accolades.
There you go. You want that.
You want to do it for the gram, like
exactly. You shaking somebody's hand or hand them a bag as they take a picture, just so you can show on Instagram that you did some community service. Like, that's not why you do it.
No, that's not why. That's not it. Because my thing is that we also have to understand the time that we're in. You know, doing it for likes, right? There's this really cool cartoon that shows somebody giving to the poor, and they're literally taking a selfie of it, and it's like, you just doing it so you can say you did it. Like,
Right.
that's what I think about when people go to like these, third world countries, or everybody jumps up so quick to do stuff. Like, where were you people been having issues all this time. Like,
Right.
no
Forever.
shade. Before the
Forever.
riots and everything, people was hungry on the south and west sides of Chicago. People was hungry
Right.
here. What were we doing? Why did it take
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So we got to be real careful like that. And it's not to say that, as we're working, as we're trying to spread the word, that social media and technology can't work to our benefit. However, again, we have to make sure that our heart is right. Our heart
Yeah.
for doing the service is right. We're doing it for the right reasons, not so we can get 20, 100 likes on the gram.
Right. Right. And with that old saying that says, I'm a butcher. I'm gonna say it
Yeah,
slow
you are.
wrong.
I felt it. I know you are, but come on with it.
All the shades.
You talk about go ahead. I want to see which
No,
one you talking
no,
about.
no. I'm gonna say it's not about what you do in front of the camera, or it's not what you do on camera, but it's about what you do when people aren't looking.
Yeah, it's a pair, like something like about character. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's key. Like
Mm-hmm.
everybody doesn't have to see what you're doing. Like a lot of things when it comes to these celebrities, like Beyonce, Jay-Z, Rihanna, all the stuff, all the philanthropy that they do behind the scenes that nobody knows about,
Oh,
help the
okay.
communities make it.
I thought you were going somewhere else. Don't talk
I was
about the
not.
parties like that. Okay, thank you.
I saw your whole aura just relax. We're not gonna come at the Beehive or Rihanna Navy. We're not doing that. This is a
Oh gosh.
good message. It's a good message. Don't come for me, okay? But but yes, all the efforts they do um, behind the scenes, they don't ask for accolades. That is not in the news, or not on the
Mm-hmm.
shade room, or not in the newspaper or TMZ that nobody knows about. Stuff like that. It's because their heart is in it to do it, just to genuinely help people to better their lives in whatever way that looks like. So,
Absolutely.
um, in your opinion, should servicing others be quick and easy, or does it require? Um, nope, I'm gonna reword that because I ain't like the
Take your
question no more.
time. Let them use you.
Stop it. Should servicing others be quick and easy, or does it require that which is often inconvenient and unconventional to accomplish? So, in other words, should it be quick and easy, or should it be hard to serve others? In your opinion?
So I think there's two parts to that. I think the literal
Okay.
and the figurative.
Okay.
So taking the actual desire, right? The act of service, going back to the heart, making sure your heart is right in doing it. So then
Yeah.
it is it's an easy thing to do if you desire to do service, right?
Yeah.
The logistics and everything will come, figuring out how to actually do this, how I'm gonna do a cold drive, how I'm gonna do a food drive. You'll figure all that out, but it's the fact
Yeah.
that you want to do it. That's
Yeah.
the first piece of it. Now, the whole thing, it has to be done. I completely believe it needs to be done in excellence, right? So it's
Yeah.
not about just doing it, quantity over quality, right? What we do when we do service, it needs to be, we want to serve the masses, we want to impact many, but if we're just doing it and have no sense of, true um understanding why, and
Yeah.
that true desire to make sure that what we're giving is quality, then that's where you get that quick and easy thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just doing it to do it. There's nothing behind it.
Yeah.
So I believe that you have to have some sort. It has to. There's a thought process that goes into it, right?
Yeah.
You have to think about it, and you plan, right? Because if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. You have to make
Come on, Cole.
hello. You have to you have to make the decision to do it and to follow through. That's a
Yeah.
lot of it too. You can't just
Yeah.
wake up one day and say, you can't just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to start a pantry, or oh, I'm going to start something, and then there's no follow through, right?
Right.
You have to, but that's where planning comes into play. That's where,
Yeah.
putting people and asking for help comes into play. So when it comes to service, it's the same thing. Yeah, I want to put together a soup kitchen or a opportunity to serve the community on this date at this time for this amount of people because we have this amount of resources. This is going to cook. This is how the food is going to, you plan, right? And you think about what you're going to do. You can't just jump up one day and say, I'm going to do this and then it'd be done. No, that's not how that works.
Right.
No.
And it needs to be an excellence. It's not an afterthought. It's something that you want to be able to succeed and to be substantial for the community in which you're serving.
Absolutely.
Because their needs aren't service level necessarily. They need help on a deeper level, because often it's not just about, so like you giving somebody going to a soup kitchen or somebody going to a clothing class. Often, whatever situation they're in, whatever season they're in, it's not just affected them physically, where they're having a lack of coat or a lack of food. Often, that's also an emotional and mental hindrance or block as well. So you being able to provide that resource, whatever it is, can also build up that as well. So being able to be like, if they're mentally, I don't want to say mentally broken, but mentally in a season where they don't feel at their best selves, you giving them a coat or food takes a weight off their shoulders. With like, thank God, I don't have to worry about this anymore. I can put the little money that I do have, I can put it towards something else, because I was given this opportunity, this resource to be able to help out in this way. So it takes a weight off of them, so they're not as stressed, they don't have as much anxiety, because they're getting help. Instead of having 10 things that they got to worry about, now they got 7.
Exactly.
And that could be huge for somebody. Just a little help sometimes goes a long way.
And that's the, so a couple weeks ago I saw there was a man just walking down the alley, and because we do our distribution outside, he walked up and said, "What is this about?" And I explained it to him, and very quickly he said, "Oh, this is amazing. Well, can I have some food?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "But I don't have anything to give." And I said, You don't have to give me anything. I'm giving to you." And quickly just glanced. He had on a fleece jacket. He had, shoes on that weren't substantial for the weather that was coming up. And I said, "Give me 2 seconds." And we were able to, go in and grab him a coat, grab him a hat, grab him some gloves, grab him some socks, grab him a bag of food, and just, like you said, the little things like that. The 10 minutes that it took me to do that, this man may not have had anybody pay that much attention to him, and however, and then you learn people's story, right? You get to understand people, but it's not about doing it just to do it. Like, it could have been a quick, like, "Nah, bro, here's the food, go ahead." Right? Like, I can't do that because our clothing closet, due to COVID, is not open right now. It's not operating, but still being able to, reach out and just go in there and jump real quick and figure out stuff. That's what it's about. It's not about, no, I can't. No, what can you do? And so if you can do it, do it. So
Absolutely. If you can do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you're able, do it. Here you go.
Yes.
So often we see people, we were talking about earlier, people taking advantage of people being of service. So when it comes to people who are genuinely just want to serve and genuinely want to be of a help to somebody else and bless somebody else with what they've been given, how do we as a people use discernment in navigating those people who want to take advantage of that for people who genuinely want to help?
Part of me really believes that actions speak louder than words, right? So I think people often do a lot of lip service and say, well, I can do this, or I want to do this and this, that, and other thing, and they don't show up. Or when you need them, they're nowhere to be found. So I think it's really about what you do. What you say is good. Your word is bond, but what are the actions that follow that, right? And just using discernment, and again, understanding people's desire to serve. Like, don't get me wrong, I am a resource for a lot of young people who need community service hours. But the first thing that I tell them is, if you're just doing this for the hours and you have no intention on coming back, then, you know, I challenge you to try that. I challenge you just to be here one time.
Yeah.
And that changes their whole perspective. I had students who literally just needed 2 hours of service. I just need 2 hours, Ms. Cooper. They made it their business to do this every week after that. And it was here before me sometimes. Like, I'm like, dang. But it became a, when you see it in action, when you see the fruits of your labor in service, whether that is just packing a bag, organizing the food, when you see the gratitude that is that someone, you know, provides you from doing that, it changes your whole structure. It's like that fuzzy feeling inside that you get when it's like,
Absolutely.
wait, you want to do this. And so I know some people just need service hours, right? I just need service hours, or I'm trying to get into this organization, or I just need something to do. Well, that's fine. I mean, I can help you with that, but I challenge you, I dare you not to want to continue doing this. And so
Right.
it's just really about making sure people understand what they're getting into, because I'll tell you, when that bug bites you, that service, when you see when you see what that does, when you see the just the effects, whether that's a smile from a child because they got so excited that they got a toy, that they're going to be able to unwrap something for Christmas, or they got a new coat, or they got shoes. It changes your whole, you know, your whole psyche.
Yeah.
But it's really about making sure that your heart is right. And I can tell very quickly from people around me, like, no, this is not the space for you. Let me send you somewhere else, because you're just doing it to do it. So.
Right. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's something I've learned working at, so my background is not in social services or social work or anything of that nature. I've done community service growing up in the community and in church and all that fun stuff. But once I started working at Family Focus, which is, for those who don't know, is a social service nonprofit based in Chicago, Illinois. We have 7 centers throughout the state of Illinois. They focus on early childhood, after school programs, DCFS programming, parent coaching, things of that nature. So when I started working for this organization, I think I relearned as an adult what it means to serve others, and what it means to give back and be a blessing to others with what I've been given. Because I believe the first month I was here, um, I got a call. So I'm the operation manager for the Evanston location, and I man the calls often. So I got a call to the center, and it legit was a family, and it was a family. She sounded young, so it must have been like a young mother, and she called crying, saying she just got evicted from her home. She just got laid off from her job, and she did not know what to do. She was looking for housing. She was looking for food. She was looking for clothing. Um, and she was legit boohooing on this phone, on this call. And the only thing that I could think about to do um, was to talk to her and let her know that um, we have resources that can help you. Thank you for calling. You are not alone. And reassured her that there are people out here who are willing to support you as you get back on your feet. Um, so you tell me what you need, and if we can't provide it here at the center, I'm going to point you in the direction of someone who can. So she called, and we don't provide housing at Family Focus. So I pointed her to Connections for the Homeless, which is right down the street from Family Focus. And they were able to help her find some type of temporary housing until she's back on her feet. She wanted food, so I asked her to come by the center to get a bag of food. Tell me how many kids you have, what the family size was, and we provided that type of resource to you. And she was just thankful. She was just thankful. She was still crying on the phone, but I think the crying shifted from the overwhelming idea that she was alone and that she wasn't able to provide for her family, to a relief, a crying of relief, because she knows that there is someone out there who actually cares about her going forward and they can help her, and whatever that may look like.
Yeah.
So that first encounter with a client, a participant, um, gave me a whole perspective on of this this soul work that we do and this work that we do in social services and in community services and just being of service to other people. Um, because if I wasn't able to, because even though people are in need, one of the first things that I learned to do is um, engage their humanity first.
Yeah.
Because of course they need resources, of course they need help with different stuff on the surface level, but to engage someone's humanity and identify them as a person and not just
Mm-hmm.
a client that you're
Mm-hmm.
giving something to, but you're like, this is my sister, this could be my sister, this is my brother, this is my little cousin, and just engaging them on that level is one of the first things I learned working doing this work, and that has took me a long way to be able to engage people's humanity. So instead of just saying when they come looking for something, they ask what you need. Okay, instead of doing like that, hello, how you doing? How was your day?
Mm-hmm.
Things of that nature. Just engaging on a human level before you engage on a professional service level. So
That's the
yeah.
that's very important. And that's something the older I've gotten, I've realized how far away we've gotten from engaging humanity, right?
Yeah.
And I had said that before, and that's something that sticks with me all the time. I have to remember and remind people that, listen, at the
Right.
bare minimum, literally at the bare of all of us,
Yeah.
we all are skeletons, right? Same
Exactly.
same type of thing. We look the same. So it's just a matter of like really, like you said, engaging humanity and knowing that even you being in the position of the giver, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that person is being the receiver, quickly that can be changed, right?
Yeah.
So we have to honor the fact that we are blessed enough to give and know that people still need to be treated like people. As
Yeah.
you know, as you said, engaging in humanity and making sure that you know your situation doesn't define you, right?
Yeah.
And knowing that it's about your heart, it's about what's on the inside. So if we can continue to do that, we would definitely be in a better place in this place
Absolutely.
that we call you know, earth, where we live, this planet,
Earth.
right? It's not even just America, it's just
Yeah.
like
It's the world. It's the globe.
humanity in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
No, absolutely. Um, what this is the final question before our last section of our conversation. Um, so this is big. What keeps Llyoandra, low key, Cooper?
wow. Okay.
What keeps you motivated?
Ooh, dramatic pause. Um,
Come on, sound effects. We're gonna get them one day.
there's there's a few things that motivate me. I just had a conversation with someone this morning. Shout out Mike Henderson. Just had a conversation with him this morning. Um, motivation to me is the application of when you take accountability and discipline, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm going somewhere with this. Stick with me.
I see. I really hear.
um, accountability informs discipline, which brings about that desire to motivate you to do better. I think all three of them need to exist for you to be successful, right? In
Hmm.
anything that you do. So what motivates me is one, knowing that I was predestined to do amazing things.
Yeah.
The motivation of um, knowing the impact that I want to leave, the legacy that I have begun, and what I want to leave on this earth when I'm no longer here physically. I'm motivated by, you know, my family, my mother, my father, my sisters, cousins, my family, just knowing that they've deposited, you know, so much into me to give back, right? Again, whether that is in my profession, whether that is in my service, like I get motivation from seeing what needs to be done and just going to do it. So I think when I think about what drives me to do what I do, it's just that need to know that it needs to be done, right?
Yeah.
Like, and knowing that if I am able to, I want to do it. And striving just to be the very best that I can be, and again, impact, whether that is, you know, a child, a young person, an adult, you know, a community. Like, I just want to be impactful, be a positive impact and an influence on this earth, really. Like, that's what motivates me. It motivates me to know that my thought process, my, you know, attention to detail, my altruism, my desire to be better and do better for those who need it is that's the reason I do what I do. So I'm motivated intrinsically, and then I'm motivated by the external forces that need what I can give.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh my God. So thank you for that. So now this section is called Light It Up. So this is a rapid fire set of questions. So there's the first thing that comes to your mind. We're gonna go fast. So it's 4 questions. So the first thing that comes to your mind, say that. Don't think too hard. Don't hurt yourself. But just the first thing that comes to your mind. All right, you ready?
Okay.
Okay. So who has been your greatest inspiration?
Ooh, my mom.
Okay.
Oh, you need more?
No, about if you got more.
She's great.
No. She's great. If you were to write a book about yourself, what would you name it?
Oh no, I wrote this down because
you think too hard.
Yeah, no, I'm totally not following the rules. If I had to write a book about myself, it would be called Understanding the Life and Times of Low. But it's like understanding, the life and times of low. But that's not really the title. You told me to think fast. I actually have a title. It's deep. Yeah.
Do you remember that's your title? No?
I've had this question before, so I actually have an answer, but I can't remember it right now.
Trash. See what I'm talking about? You're supposed to be ready.
I know.
Okay. In a perfect world, what would your dream sources of income be? It could be one or it could be multiple.
So multiple sources of income, definitely. I would be a motivational speaker. I would be a advisor for young people at my own business. I would have my own post-secondary planning consulting situation where I'm helping people, helping students, young people, adult learners, whoever, figure out their life after, whether it's high school or get reacclimated into, you know, what they need to do. Maybe they have a career change. Maybe they've never been to college. I would totally be a consultant and have my own business. I would love to have an office here in Family Focus because it would be a nonprofit. So that's what I would do. I would also want to teach. I would love to be a professor because, you know, yeah, I like to be in front of people.
Dr. Coop, come on, Dr. Coop.
Wait on it. We got a couple years. Wait on it. What else? I
don't know. You tell me. I
don't know. I enjoy singing, so I would not mind being a background singer. But then I don't know. I would love to be world traveler, somebody who could travel the world and just write poetry and like, impact people. So I want to go to Greece and like Italy and, Bora Bora. So
come on, Bora Bora. Come on, Bora Bora.
Africa. Okay. Oh my God, Africa.
I'm about to say, because that's my first one. I haven't been out the country yet, but when I do go out the country, I want the first place to be Africa.
Okay, well,
So,
right.
one time for the one time.
To you. Okay.
Nelson Mandela to you. I'm about to kick you off this young groom.
I was watching Malcolm X the other day, and one of my favorite parts is Nelson Mandela at the end. So, sorry.
I worry about you sometimes. Okay, so this is the final question.
We're done already? I love this so much.
Oh my gosh. How do you define success?
Excuse me, what?
How do you define success? This is why it was
my success is defined by the actual impact that I've made on people, not by money, not by fame, not by the amount of people that I've impacted, but the quality of my impact. I want people to be able to say, Miss Cooper taught me that putting but in a sentence negates everything that I said before that. I want people to say that seeing Coop in her passion for service, gave me the desire to serve and to put back into my community. I want people to see the way that Coop loves, whether that's, just the way that she loves and how she, puts so much of herself into everything she does. That's so telling of how good of a person she is. That is what I would define as me being successful in whatever I do, being able to impact someone else by what they've seen from me. So, I mean, having millions of dollars, the biggest home on earth, all these cars, clothes, like, while it'd be nice, that doesn't really show me success. Success shows me, or success is shown to me by by what people say about you, in the sense of, what did your legacy leave? How did you impact someone? That's how I know if you're truly successful.
That's awesome. Your impact of your actions and your work and a legacy you leave, opposed to it being a word. That's good. I love it. I'm here for it all.
Thanks. That was hard. That was very stressful. Thank you.
I bet it was. I bet it was. You lost your hair because of it. I see.
I did. I didn't know what to do.
Cool. But I say that is I'm appreciative of you for coming out and doing this with me, and just chopping it up and having fun, and having a good old grand time on this young conversation series that we have. Is there any final thoughts that you have? Anything that you want to tell the viewers you have coming up that you want them to look out for?
Yes. So, first of all, thank you so much, Alexx, LightHouse. I really, 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 really appreciate you all taking the time to allow me to come and share this space with you. So it's been great. I love it. The Giving Storeroom, the Giving Storeroom at gmail.com. We have an Instagram, Giving Storeroom Evanston. Follow us, email us, call us, 847-440-4603. I think that's the number. It should be. If you're wanting to volunteer, if you want to donate, if you know someone in need, like, I am ready and willing to be a resource to those here in the community. I'm so grateful that I can do what I can do. I have an awesome team. Shout out Jared Fry, shout out Gabby Malone, shout out Melissa and Jessica, all of those who have volunteered at any point in time with the Giving Storeroom. So thankful for Northwestern, so thankful for ETHS, Community Service Club, Family Focus, Partnership Financial Credit Union. We were blessed with a check of over $5,000 this past Thursday, and it was so amazing. There's so much good in store for the Giving Storeroom. We are excited. We know that 2020 has been a year for everybody, but it was just a minor setback for the major come up that the Giving Storeroom has in store. So again, if you want to volunteer, if you're interested in learning more about us, just find us on IG, Giving Storeroom Evanston. You can email us at thegivingstoreroom@gmail.com. Alexx is always, here at Family Focus. If you have any questions, you can call up here and get any information. We are accepting food donations. We are accepting new and gently used clothing. We have a few coat drives that are happening. We are so thankful that people are partnering with us. Thank you for our partners with all of our new projects coming. So there's a lot in store. Watch out for us for the end of 2020 as well as we go into 2021. So we are excited, and I'm just so thankful and grateful that I can do what I do. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the contact information for the Giving Storeroom and Low are going to be in the description of this video. So you all don't have to look too far, but they're going to be in this young description. So if y'all want to follow the Giving Storeroom on Instagram, hit up Low, or even the link to RSVP to volunteer is also going to be in the description as well, if you all want to tap in. So.
Yes. It's right here too. Let me make it my background real quick. Hey. So again, the Giving Storeroom Evanston. Also, God is Bigger Clothing. Follow them on Instagram. Wonderful brand. So many people I can shout out, but everyone follow me on social media. Again, the Giving Storeroom Evanston, Sweet and Low on Instagram, Llyoandra Cooper on Facebook. I'm just here. I'm ready to serve. So
cool. But I will put all that in the description so they don't have to look too far. You know how people be. If you say it and they'll never do it. So we're just gonna put the link in there, so they just gotta click it. So
thank you, Alexx.
I got you, big dog. I got you. All right, family. This has been another episode of The Beacon. We are excited about what we're doing with LightHouse. Thank you to Lo for coming through and chatting with me. LightHouse has a lot coming up. This upcoming Friday, we have our first and third Fridays of the month Bible study. So we're talking about power, and we're diving into that and having fun, and talking about how power is affiliated in the physical, spiritual space, as well as the practical life application space. And we get deep. We're getting deep in these conversations. So if you're interested with young adults and Bible study, hit me up, tap in, message me, hit me up on Instagram or Facebook, and we can get it rocking. So until next time, family, thank y'all for coming, and see y'all later.